Thank you. Yeah, great teamwork. I like the transition between you guys and all that stuff. I can tell. So I appreciate that. I also appreciate you recognizing the at least showing that we haven't done any of the extremely low income housing. So could you briefly just talk about those state laws that have passed before that one that you talked about, where the next RENA cycle is going to have it, where we are still responsible for at least projecting 50% of that very low income number as ELI, and how you do that, how you think about it, besides just reporting it.
Yes, so prior to AB 3093, right, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, the state has been kind of letting folks using the assumption that the VLI RENA allocation, you can assume half of that as the ELI category, the extremely low income category. And this was for informational purposes, and they have stated that that's not tied to any statutory requirements. And as I've noted that, we recognize the needs in our community, especially, so that even before this next RENA cycle, we're going to try to work on developing some approaches and strategies to try to, come up with ways to really assist our residents in those lowest spectrum of the income.
Thank you, because we're being lobbied heavily hard right now for those folks that live down in those income categories. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important that we recognize them, even if it is just a once a year on a planning report. So I appreciate you all putting that in there. The other question I had is on one of the programs. So the Inclusionary Housing Program. I know we pivoted to going towards that county collaborative. And last year it was reported that in fall of 2025 it would be completed and then implemented by June of 2026. But that looks like it's been updated to just in progress. So can you talk a little bit about that change and that delay?
Yes, so actually we've been actively participating in the grant access study through the Santa Clara County Planning Collaborative. And a draft report is supposed to be coming out pretty soon, actually almost finalized for that study. And then after that, staff is going to work on developing some policy framework so that we can bring the results of study and some policy framework discussion for the council to consider. And we're projecting to do that by this summer.
So it is still planned for
yes.
2026?
It's still in 2026
okay.
In terms of that work.
Because that's not what it said in the report. That would be maybe, I don't know, maybe that's an update you guys can use. It just says it's in progress. So I'll move on to the next one. Is one of the programs that we promised at the end of 2025 was the E12, the Downtown Expansion District and First Street Mixed Use Corridor Flexibility. This is not so much of a question, it's more of just a comment. This is another one that kind of keeps getting tangled up into what's sort of been called as like, oh, we're going to put that in the comprehensive zoning update. I can tell you I've been hearing that for a long time. Our current general plan was approved November of 2020, and that's when the zoning code should have been updated, and it's been 6 years since, and I know there's been different iterations, different contractors, different planning commissions seen it a couple times. So this is just something that I'd like to be able to talk about during these upcoming strategic planning sessions, just talk about what that means and how we're moving forward with that. Thank you.